Good day to you folks. The Butch Man here, coming to you from the totally awesome 80s. Don't ask me how I'm able to project myself and my image and my verbiage to you, but it's rad. That's for sure. We all know. Most generic, most average, least talented personality, even in the 80s. So, I got this song in my head. I was watching TV earlier in the 80s. You know, one of those channels we get. You know what? Not liking this hat. I'm going with this hat. Gently placed atop my dome is how we do in the 80s with my wardrobe and such. My flash dance wardrobe. You know. So I was watching this commercial, and it was a Tootsie Roll commercial. Now this song's in my head. The world looks mighty good to me, 'cause Tootsie Rolls are all I see. Whatever it is I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me. Tootsie Rolls caramel, you know it. Simple as that. That's the truth, people. Now, again, you're going to watch the commercials. What are you going to do? Get up and change the channel? Click, click. No. That's why that song's in my head. I'm not sure if I dig this hat either. It'll do. It'll do, pig. Okay, that might have been the 90s, which I don't even know because that's the future. Who even knows, man? All right. So, and then speaking of Tootsie Rolls, then I saw this Uber Fresh commercial. And what it was this little dude. He's going up to these animals, different ones, and asking them if they could tell him how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. You know, because there's a little Tootsie Roll in the center of this lollipop. You got me? So, he goes up to this, finally he gets up to this turtle, and the turtle's like, I never made it without trying. Ask Mr. Owl. He goes to Mr. Owl, and he's like, Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? And the owl's like, let's find out. He's very scholarly-like. He licks it, 1, licks it again, 2, because he's an owl, you know, and then crunches, 3. And he says 3. Well, you know, he bit it. The point is, you were supposed to get to the center without biting it. It just blew my mind in the 80s, where we're at. So, you know, another thing that's very, very, a very hot topic right now is the, you know, technology and what's going to be better in the long run. Like, you know, there's this thing, the VHS, which is like, it's like a cassette recorder. You know how you push record and you talk into it and you hear yourself? Like that. Or you hold it up to another radio and it records what's projected off the radio. It's like that, only it records the television. And then there's another thing called the Betamax, which is it's the same thing. And I gotta tell you, I think the Betamax is the way to go. I mean, mark my words, you won't even know what a VHS is in the future. It's going to be Betamax all day, all night, every day. That's the totally tubular way to go, is the Betamax. That's fresh. So, there's, I was watching this, you know, I watch a lot of TV, it being the 80s. Of those 7 channels. And that's another thing, man. Tell me you hate when there's nothing on TV. Like, you got up and you clicked that dial and there's nothing on any of those 7 freaking channels, man. Like, how is there nothing on, fixing my bro. How is there literally nothing on any of those 7 channels? You know? I mean, you actually got up to change these channels. Then you even tried those UHF ones, you know, where you put it in the channel U, and then you got that other speedy dial that, you know, maybe 2 channels or 3 channels come in once or twice a year. They didn't work either. God, don't you hate that? Don't you hate that? Oh, I hate when that happens, when there's nothing on any of those 7 channels. So I was watching this like animated dude. He's real gnarly. His name is Max Headroom. And he's talking about how to talk to the ladies, how to talk to women. And I couldn't help but think about, what happens with me is I get nervous, man. I get super nervous, and I want to talk to a girl on the phone, right? And I'll pick up the phone, and I'm sitting there because it's got a cord and everything, and I dial the number, and I dial 6 numbers because it only takes 7. All you have to do is dial 7 numbers to call somebody because it's in the 80s. And, and I have that pulse tone, not the touch tone, not, I don't have that. I have, and usually by the 6th number and I panic and hang up the phone. I slam the phone down and go, no, darn it, not today. Oh, man, I'm not a righteous dude right now. I'm not going to call this girl because I'm super nervous. I am not righteous at all. Drat. So I'd always chicken out. I mean, that's a bogus move. I'm super bogus. I don't know, man. But this is how it's in the 80s. And, and talking about you dudettes, you women, you know how to tease us guys, man. Like, how are we not supposed to look at you dudettes when you're wearing those awesome, super sexy, totally tubular jeans? Those tight jeans that go a foot past your hips and button up right to just under your bra. There's also big news, world news. So there was a problem with Iran, turns out. Big problems. Big problems. This is a global issue here. The United States finally put to rest any problems we had with Iran. Again, there was major problems. What the United States did, in the 80s, because that's where we're at right now, the United States had this guy named Hulk Hogan, and he wrestled this guy called the Iron Sheik. Now, Hulk Hogan represented the United States. The Iron Sheik is from Iran. I walked. That was stupid. It's the 80s. What do we care? It's totally tubular. So, Hulk Hogan beat this guy, the Iron Sheik, in a pro wrestling match, and that ended any problems we had with Iran. So, Hulk Hogan beats this guy, the Iron Sheik. Rocky Balboa beats Ivan Drago in a boxing match, and the Cold War is over. So all we have to do is use these sporting events, and we can correct these global issues. This is how simple the 80s was, man. The 80s is. So now Hulk Hogan wins the championship from the Iron Sheik, and he wins the wrestling championship. Just like that, problems with Iran are over. I mean, that is super rad. Rocky Balboa beats Ivan Drago. The Cold War is over. Super rad. Super tubular, fresh, rad. Ickle. So, this is your pal, the Butch Man, signing off from the wonderful decade of the 80s. Obviously, I don't have anything better to do. Radical.